Hi, welcome back to Hot Topics TV, y'all. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into this story. So if you've been following us, you've been following the whole Brittney Griner story. So this is an update to it. The women's national basketball player, superstar who went over to Russia and got caught up. And now she is sitting in a Russian prison or jail going through a trial, and she's looking at about 10 years in Russia for something that would have been a misdemeanor in the US and probably wouldn't even have gotten her in trouble in the first place, since there has been proof that she was given these cannabis stuff as medication. She has a prescription for it, and it is her medication. Anyhow, so far, in a rare move, the State Department has offered Russia a deal in hopes of securing the release of WNBA player Brittney Griner and another imprisoned American, U.S. Marine Corps veteran and former security executive Paul Whelan. The U.S. government claims are wrongly detained in Russia. Now, if you don't know, let me get you up to speed real quick. So this Marine has been detained for a while. We're going to get into the whole story, the deal that the U.S. has offered to Russia. But funny enough, experts said from the beginning that Brittney is not going to just walk out of Russia. They're going to play hardball, and they want something in return. And maybe this is even going to come down to a swap. The Russians have actually sent out message saying, we're not in the mood to go through any negotiations right now. Please respect our process and stop making a big propaganda out of it. She came to our country. She broke our laws. So let her go through our legal system. Once we have finished the whole court case to where she's found guilty and then sentenced, then you can start talking about what deals we might make. Up until now, we're not into that as yet. So that's not a good look. But Secretary of State Antony Blinken steps out and says, fuck it. Let's throw a deal forward. We know that we have somebody that they really want, the Russians really want, out of lockup. We weren't planning on giving them this somebody, but for these two high-profile people, we're going to give them this somebody. It's worth it. My honest opinion is it's very much worth it. Now, although State Secretary or Secretary of State Antony Blinken did not disclose the terms of the proposed prisoner swap, a source that is close to the matter revealed to the New York Times that the U.S. was willing to trade convicted Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout for the jailed Americans. The move would mark the second time this year that the Biden administration has negotiated with Russia to safely relinquish a U.S. citizen from Russian custody following the release of Marine veteran Trevor Reed earlier this year. Now, I know there are a lot of Marines that are saying, come on, man, bring our brother home. We don't give a fuck about all that other stuff, pardon my language, but bring him home. You know, we put a substantial proposal on the table weeks ago to facilitate their release, Blinken told reporters Wednesday. Our government have communicated repeatedly and directly on that proposal, and I'll use the conversation to follow up personally, and I hope to move us forward towards a resolution. In other words, the Biden administration is very much on top of getting Griner home. She is an Olympic champion. She is highly decorated. When she was playing for the U.S. and representing the U.S. and winning gold for the U.S., she was America's big baby. Because I believe she is like 6'11" or something. She's very tall. But anyhow, not about her height. More like when she was winning. But ever since she got in trouble in Russia, this became a political thing for a lot of people. Because she also was someone who would not stand when the anthem was being played after the whole Colin Kaepernick take a knee thing. And she was one that stood in defiance along with Colin Kaepernick. You know, she was like, hey, at a disproportionate level, unarmed black men, some women also are being shot down in the streets from a simple traffic stop. Police officer pulls you over to tell you your backlight's broken and a person ends up dead, and it shouldn't be. And these officers are also getting away, no accountability. Let's fix that, because we don't see it happening the other way around, right? So obviously something's wrong with this. We see great restraint being taken when they're dealing with someone that looks like them. Speaking of a white police officer versus a black motorist, etc. So she stood her ground on that. And lo and behold, the same people who were fans of hers when she was representing us overseas and winning gold medals and stuff are the same people that would come here and say, oh, she wouldn't stand for our national anthem. So guess what? Now you want help from America when you didn't even like America in the first place. Stay your ass over there. Russia, keep her ass. And I saw so many of those comments, and it was sickening, because that came from a place of racism. But I'm not here to debate racism and all that other stuff. I'm just telling you what's going on in the process with Brittney Griner. So President Joe Biden has signed off on the proposal deal. It's official. The president and his team are willing to take extraordinary steps to bring them home. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said of Griner and Whelan. Griner, who plays basketball in Russia during the WNBA offseason, was arrested by Russian authorities in February after customs officials found 2 cannabis vape cartridges in her carry-on luggage. The 2-time Olympic gold medalist pleaded guilty to drug smuggling charges earlier this month, but she claimed that she did not intend to bring the vape cartridges into Russia, stating that she had been fighting a bout of COVID. She had it very badly, and then she had just gotten over it, and she got her clear go-ahead to go. So she was rushing to get to Russia, to get to training, to get to start playing, and she hurriedly packed her stuff and accidentally packed 2 cartridges into her belongings, stating that she packed them by mistake during a frantic preparation for her trip. Maria Bagovolina, whatever that name is, one of Griner's lawyers in Russia, argued that the basketball star's doctor in the U.S. prescribed the use of marijuana for chronic pains that the athlete has. She may have used it for medical purposes, but not for recreational purposes. Whelan, meanwhile, the other person who we're looking to bring home, Whelan was detained in Moscow in 2018, and he was charged with espionage, and he was sentenced to 16 years in prison in Russia in June of 2020. Now, here's the thing. When you get held up in Russia, don't expect to get let go. If you're an American, they're going to find you guilty. That's why it was in Griner's best interest to plead guilty. Pleading guilty, but pleading guilty to a charge like smuggling, when she did not intend to. It wasn't like she had a kilo of cocaine and she was going to go break it down and sell it on the block. She had 2 vape cartridges. Personal use, obviously. Prescription, yes. She simply packed it into her stuff by accident. This stuff happens. I don't know about you, but when I'm getting ready to travel, I make sure nobody goes near my luggage. I make sure I pack my own luggage. I make sure I even double check to make sure I hadn't put anything in by accident that might get me caught up in an airport somewhere with authorities, And I think we all should do that, and we all could learn from this, especially when going international, because some places, things that we look at in the U.S. as, that's minor, or what are you doing with this? Oh, I have a prescription. Where's your prescription? I don't have it on me, but I can call my doctor. See, in Russia, the laws don't apply the same. This is actually illegal substance in Russia. So it doesn't matter if in the U.S. you have a prescription for it. In their world, you just brought some illegal shit into their country. And because of what is going on, the climate with Russia and the U.S. right now, with the invasion of Ukraine, and she got caught up just in that time, they were about to make an example out of her. Basically, take it out on her. Whelan, meanwhile, the Marine, he was detained since 2018, charged with espionage, sentenced to 16 years. Russia has long pointed to Whelan's multiple citizenship. He is also a citizen of the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Canada, in addition to the United States, and suspicious information contained in a flash drive as evidence of his espionage activities. Damn. About the Russian citizen, allegedly considered for release. He's supposed to be serving a 25-year sentence in federal prison for conspiring to sell firearms intended to kill Americans. And that's why he got caught up in the U.S. And he is in a federal prison doing 25 years. The former Soviet military officer known colloquially as the Merchant of Death. He was arrested in a joint U.S.-Thai sting operation in Bangkok in 2008. And he's been serving his time ever since. Now, people leave comments like this. How about giving them a dozen Russian criminals for Griner, but first secretly inject them with a shot of some slow-acting incurable disease. Then, as an apology, give them Griner back. That's the kind of stuff that people write. You know, at the end of the day, listen, Brittney Griner, she didn't commit any big crime that hurt anybody. She was about getting her money. She is severely underpaid in the US in the WNBA, which is another topic of conversation that should come up later, because if she was being paid along the lines of how the men in the NBA are paid, given that she is a two-time Olympic gold medalist, etc., etc., she would not be in this situation. She goes over to Russia to play basketball as the season in the US ends. This is just so that she can pick up an extra check, right? It's an equivalent of an American working two jobs to make ends meet. Yeah, and she gets paid a lot in Russia, but she had no intentions of going over there to do criminal activities, obviously. She's been going there for years. This was not her first, second, third, fourth, or fifth time going to the country. She does the same thing routinely and has been doing it for years. Unfortunately, she just got caught up, and worse, she got caught up at the wrong time. Hopefully, this all goes through. The Merchant of Death, Russia wants him to be free. They've been wanting him to be free for quite some time. He is valuable to them. So, giving them this high-profile criminal, so to speak, should seal the deal. Experts did say from the beginning that this is probably going to come down to a swap, and they're probably looking to get the Merchant of Death in exchange for Brittney Griner. The US sweetens the deal, but the US asks for more. Give us not only Griner, but give us Whelan as well. We'll see how this works out. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Do you feel like what she did or accidentally did deserves 10 years in a Russian prison, or is that just overkill? For me personally, it's time to bring BG home, and definitely as a service member myself, right, it's time to bring Whelan home as well. Catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.